Now, we might have a time when we want to convert, to change one data type into another. And there are some built-in functions within Python that can help us to do that. So let's just say I wanted to convert something into a string. So I'm just going to create a variable called converted string. So say I've got say I've got an integer like this number here, and I want to print it out. In fact, no, I'm not going to. Yes, I'm going to. I'll print it out. Now, the moment when I print it, you'll just see that number. So it won't change what the outcome is, but the type of data that it's stored as will change. Now, if I want to convert this into a string, I use the str keyword, and then I open my brackets, open parentheses, and close them at the end, and that's going to convert whatever is inside the brackets. If it's an integer, for example, or it's a float, it's going to convert it into a string. Now, you won't see any different here. Nothing will necessarily be seen to be different, but it's really important if I want to do something with that data type later. I can do the same if this was a decimal number. Again, nothing is actually changing in the output, but that is now a string. So the same, if I wanted to convert a integer, say I've got a string like this. Okay, so I've got the string and it's 78. It has to be an integer. If it was a float here, then this isn't going to work. But what I can do, let me print again this out for us. I can use the keyword int, open my parentheses and close them there, and it's going to convert it into an integer. Now, why is that important? Well, let's just say I wanted to do my converted integer, and I'm going to add 20 to it. Let me make this number 1, and then I wanted to print out number 1 here. So you should see then, so now it's added 20 onto this here. But if I had tried to print this out, if I'd then tried to do, for example here, number, I'm going to name this number 2 equals converted integer plus 20, and I tried to run that, I'm going to get this type error because we can't concatenate, we can't join them together. Then what it's trying to do is add them together. We can't do that if we've got two different data types here, so we can't join together a string and an integer. It's just not going to work. So if I then converted this into a string, oh sorry, that was meant to be an integer, converted it into an integer, then you'll see that works absolutely. That works as expected. So that's a couple of ways that we can convert things. So we could also convert a float. Let me just delete a couple of these lines of code. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there just for now. Let's say converted float. Let's just say I've got in a string, I've got the number 56.5. And then I wanted to convert that into a float. What I would do before the string, I write the keyword float, open my parentheses again, close my parentheses there, and then when I run it, it's going to turn it into a float. So again, I could do something with it. So I could say number 3 equals converted float plus, I don't know, 5.2. It could be an integer that I added onto it. What have I done wrong? Converted float equals float. Number 3. Because I didn't print out number 3. I've just printed out the converted float. So now you'll see, now I can do something with it. So I can show the type of variable that we've got. So before I converted this, I could write, so the type, keyword type, and then the name of the variable, and then I could print, oops, I spelled variable wrong. So I could have printed out to the screen. So it's telling me that it is a string at the moment, and then if this had been converted if I did it like this, then it should show me that it is a float, which is right, and if that was just like this, then it's going to show me that it's an int. So we can use this type keyword to help us as well. Now, why is all of this important? Well, let's just say I've asked for the input from the user, and I'm just going to ask them for their age, and then let's just say I wanted to do the new age is going to be age, take away, I don't know, 5 years, and then I'm going to print out their new age. So let's just say I want to subtract 5 years from the user type. So let's just say that they're 56. I'm going to get this type error because we can't subtract between a string and an integer. I can't do anything with it. Yeah, we can print it out on what their age is onto the screen, but I can't do anything with it. So what I would need to do is I would need to convert that string, because remember this is the input by default will take a string, convert it into an integer. So what I could do is I could type, before I give the new age to converted age, for example, I could do int, and then I could do their age. So now you should see, so if I type in here 56, I get an error. What's the error? New age, line 3, new age, subtract 5. Saying it's a type error. This should have been converted age, because remember that's the name of my new variable from that I've converted into an integer. So now when I type it, good. So it subtracts 5 from that age. We can actually do this in one line though, so we can tidy it up a little bit. So I don't need to have this here. So we're going to convert the input into an int. So let's try that in a couple of different ways. So let's try doing int here, open parentheses, and we'll need to close the parentheses there. So I'm just going to delete this line of code, and this also needs to go back to age. So let's try running that and see what happens. So there we go, that works. So we can convert an int, we can convert it in one line, convert what the user inputs into an int, all in one line, and then we can do some maths with it, or we can add or subtract something to it to make it work.